has answered every challenge. He's been cool, calm, and collected. This is a chance for him to win his first title, and a first title for a black man in the PBA.
Willie Willis came awful close.
Willie Willis won our resident pro championship, but that was against resident players. It wasn't a national PBA title.
But he also made telecasts on the national tour.
Charlie Venable got close. We've had a number of, there was a player Williams in the past who got on the national telecast.
Opening shot of the title match. Is it a good one? You bet, but a solid 7-pin, and we haven't really seen many of those, I guess simply because Mr. Pasteur has been playing the light hit this evening.
Plus that soft speed keeps the pins down low, and he's been carrying very well with that slower, softer speed.
He almost seems like a player from a different era, almost the lacquer era.
Yes, he does. And for those who don't know what we're talking about, the finish on the lane says he makes his first 7-pin. Used to be lacquer and is now generally throughout most bowling centers in the country urethane, which is a harder finish and gives a more violent reaction than lacquer used to.
Steve Cook out of Roseville, California, 10-time PBA champion. Currently leads the tour in 300 games this season. High game this week, 278. I think he'd love to pencil that in here in the title match.
Right through the heart of the pins. Leaves the 2-4-7.
I'm noticing now, Mike, that Rod Pasteur has his head down in his hands. I don't think he's going to watch Steve Cook bowl at all here in the title match. Maybe just concentrate on his own game.
This is the most important game of his career, obviously. It's much more important to him than it is to Steve Cook. Although to Steve Cook, it's extremely important too, because Bowler of the Year may ride on it.
And he is right in the thick of that race. And boy, it's turned out to be a terrific race.
Tough spare. Has it. Nice conversion. Start the match off with.
Steve Cook averaged better than 224 this week. Is currently averaging 212 thus far as the tour is concerned. He's an outstanding bowler from the top seeded position. I asked him what the key was to win here this evening from the #1 spot.
Well, I'm just going to come out and be real aggressive and try to throw 12 good shots and not really worry about who I'm throwing. And if I do that, I think I can win it.
And back in 1981, I believe it was, he came out at the Firestone Tournament of Champions and threw the first 10 strikes in a row against Pete Couture.
Oh, I remember that.
On his favorite of the two lanes. Ooh! Same thing that Rod Pasteur did, solid 7.
Career earnings for Steve Cook in 9 years as a PBA member, better than $532,000. Regardless of what he does here this evening, win or lose, he will surpass the $100,000 mark for the first time in his career. And he said, you know, that's a milestone, Denny. I'm very pleased I was able to do that.
It's a kind of a hidden goal, or in the back of the mind goal with every professional bowler starting the year, that they like to get to that $100,000 mark.
Plus, there's still quite a bit of the year left.
Cross lane at the 7-pin. Hard and straight, makes it.
He throws everything hard, doesn't he?
I really don't think he throws that first ball that hard. I think he really is a power stroker player. He's similar to Marshall Holman on the right, only not in physical stature, but in the way they throw the bowling ball. Although Holman, of course, doesn't have a big high backswing or anything, but they both are power strokers.
25-year-old Rod Pasteur out of Miami, Florida. On the right-hand lane.
Going high on the Brooklyn, and he says, I'll take those.
Shakes his head as he walks back. What does that do to a guy like Steve Cook when you're sitting on the bench and a guy throws a Brooklyn?
You best just don't watch it, as he crosses over here and hits a perfect right-handed strike, and they all fall down. He got one of those to win against Kent Wagner.
I never cared when I went Brooklyn.
Which
was most of the time.
I used to early in my career, and I learned quickly not to care.
Never be too proud to take that X.
The 4-7 and the pressure of the title match telling as he just kind of steered that ball, tried to steer it into the 1-2 pocket to get that early lead. And you can see the tension written all over his face right now. Cross lane at the 4-7. Can't make any mistakes and give Cook an easy or early lead by a mistake of your own. Doesn't.
Rod Pasteur has already defeated Wayne Webb, Kent Wagner, and John Gant. He qualified in the number 4 position, and this seems to be a summer of the lower guys on the stepladder because they have been marching towards the top here as of late.
We saw Dale Eagle do it. We saw Dave Houston do it.
Steve Cook trailing by a single pin in the 3rd.
And wants that light hit. Cook is a very animated player. If he gets a string of strikes going, or just even a few in a row, he's going to be moving around. That's 260 pounds, moves very quick on the approach. And what's really frightening is if he's crossing next to you in the qualifying round and he were bowling on lane 21 and you're on lane 20 and he gets a strike and you've just stood up there, he goes running those strikes back.
It's like getting run over by the refrigerator.
Exactly.
No fun. His hands are so big he uses 2 rosin bags. Can you believe that?
Look at his high games, 278, 278, 259. To take the lead right here in the 4th frame.
Oh, and he liked that all the way. So a big double for the top-seeded giant, Steve Cook out of Roseville, California. Back with the conclusion of the Austin Open right after this message.
Right now to help settle him down so he can get back into this match.
Pasteur on a spare. And through the nose. What has he had? He's had only 1 split that I can recall on tonight's telecast. And just remember, he did not get any count on it at all.
Right, he left the 4-7-10 every time he's gone through the nose. He's gotten a good break and broken up the split.
I'll say as many times as he's fiddled around with that head pin this evening, he's gotten away unscathed other than the 1 shot.
Tough spare here, the 2-4-7. He's in trouble, and it comes back. Ooh, wow, almost got a bad break there. Looking at that ring finger right now, maybe he's might have a blister on that ring finger.
Last night I noticed in the position round game that the base of his thumb there was having a little bit of a problem, but obviously shook it off. And you are well aware, Mike, that many times you have to bowl with a very sore hand, and that's just part of the game.
Yeah. When you get to bowl for the title, you don't worry about it at that stage. He's been out of the pocket almost every time in this final match, and is out again. This time he has a split, the 2-7. And he just has failed to make the adjustment right now. Either the lanes are breaking down a little bit more, or he, because he's just a little bit extra nervous for the title match, is a little bit softer.
I would have to believe that he would approach this game a little bit differently than any of the other ones he's bowled here this evening, simply because of the exemption, the win, the trip to the Firestone Tournament of Champions in Akron. There's a lot on the line.
Nice conversion, more speed. That's what he needs on the first shot, that extra speed.
Steve Cook now in a position to really put the heat on the rookie. Cook leads by 14, and he is working on a double, shooting in the 5th.
And we should correct something that we said earlier before Cook put some heat on us, and that's we've been giving him 10 titles all show long, and he has 11. He won the PBA doubles to start our ESPN telecast this summer. So he's trying for his 12th PBA victory here.
An even dozen. Steve Cook 5 and 6 from the top-seeded position in his career. Lets it go. It's a little high. Does not get the break. And he'll leave the 6-pin.
He's standing right in front of the pins with me, and I can't even see the pins. I'm going to have to look at the monitor because he blocks them out.
Blocks out all that sunshine. The thing that's so amazing about Steve Cook, for those of you who have ever had the chance to watch him bowl in person, he is so agile. At 6'6", 6'7", and 250, 60 pounds, he would have made a great tight end. Or a basketball player. I imagine he could probably clear out the paint pretty well.
He and Charles Barkley, huh? Cross lane at the 6-pin.
He is an awesome sight as he asks for a re-rack on lane 19.
It always amazes me about Steve Cook. Watch as he hits the peak of this backswing, how he cups that hand over that ball. It's hard to see right there, but he just cups it right around there. I don't know how those guys didn't do that. I couldn't do that then.
For Steve Cook, I don't know, it was almost like Wilt Chamberlain when he used to be able to palm a basketball. When your hands are that big, or like Julius Erving, you can do so many things that other players can't do.
You notice my hands are nice and small.
Mm-hmm.
Cook trying to get back on the strike pattern. Light breaks it down, leaves only the 3-pin.